who I know a great deal. As a matter of fact, we've done this a few times.
And I don't know how many, but because I lose track.
If you recognize the voice, you're a regular listener to Impact. You know that as Ray Castellani, the man who's the executive director of the Frontline Foundation. Ray, nice to see you again.
Hey, I love you.
I love you too. Things have changed a little since the last time we saw you.
Oh, Frank, for sure. First of all, which is the beautiful news, is that Frontline is out of the red area and definitely into the plus area, and standing strong and pounding the chest, which is I believe, truly a miracle. Because 6 months ago, 7 months ago, April, 6 months ago, whatever it was, I always say the scavengers were ready. The birds were flying above and just ready to pick the bones of Frontline, whatever was left. And it's not that way now. Radical changes I put into effect, and it paid off. It paid off with the tremendous amount of help from the volunteers, the banding together, the not buying any more goods, but having it donated by people standing out in front of markets again, getting food again for us, getting these things that would be written, checks would be written for, and now we were securing them by donations. So it's a whole turnaround. I've always said that God runs His show, and if it was time to end, we wouldn't have anything, and we came very close to it. So,
now, those that may not be acquainted with you, there's a whole vast audience that listens to this program. Some may have heard you one time. There's probably some that have heard you all, whatever, 8, 9, 10 times you've been on.
Yeah, more than that.
And some might not know who you are or what the Frontline Foundation is. So talk a little bit about what you do and why you're here opposite me.
Well, firstly, you and I met, it's been over 5 years ago now, which is unbelievable. At that time, I was beginning to serve a few people on Skid Row, which is the area, downtown Los Angeles, where I say the fallen of our society reside. I believe it's a society of human beings that it's their inhabitant. That's all, and they call it Skid Row. And but it's a very highly regarded area for me. Other people may look at it in a different view, but these are human beings, people, God's kids, and residents of their own society, and brilliant, sad, many of them, and yet they have a tremendous amount of dignity. So I am the instrument. Excuse me. I am the instrument that was picked, however one wants to put it, to serve food to these people, to the residents, and that's what I do. So for a period of 6 years, now over 6, I have been distributing food to the tune of 375,000 meals. That's a lot of meals, and again, that is the miracle. Yesterday, I believe there was 234 meals that I served personally, 200 other meals that were served in the back line that were at St. Viviana's parking lot that they let us use. So it's a total of 400 and some odd meals yesterday, and a lot of popcorn, a lot of ice cream, a lot of love, a lot of caring, and this is basically what the Frontline Foundation does. I ask no questions. I believe that in the purity of giving. I believe in giving for the purity of giving and asking nothing in return. I believe that as the most spiritual thing that I possibly can do is to give, and it's in the consummation of the giving that the highest form of spirituality is consummated. That's what I believe, and I'll put that up against the Pope or any theologian or anything like that. I am not in that area to try to change anybody. I am in that area only to give love and only to be of service.
Is this something that you've known about your whole life?
That's a good question. Is this something...
May I ask it in a different way that maybe it'd be a little easier to answer? Is this something that you've practiced throughout your whole life?
No.
This idea of giving for the purity of giving,
no.
and asking nothing in return.
No. I got you here. No. That unequivocally, I was a taker. I was a loser, and all takers are losers, and I was, so it was not. Excuse me. I don't know where that coughing is coming from. No, this is something that has been developed over the past 20 years or so, and it was a process. It was a process. Excuse me. Boy. I don't know. I don't smoke either. It was a process that that took a long time to unfold. I believe it was a 16-year period, and at the end of 16 years, I realized that I was to be an instrument, to be of service to humanity, to whatever the course may be, and I knew it. I Ray knew it at that moment, and then I embarked upon different areas, trying to figure out and find out which niche or where I was to belong. So it was something that did not come easy, and it's something I'd like to say I was an angel, but that's not true. I didn't want to be chosen to do this, and I certainly, if I had somebody said, "Well, Ray, what would you like to do?" Well, I'd like to be on a ranch with horses and care of me and go where I wanted to go, when I wanted to go, how I wanted to go, and maybe a swimming pool, nicely heated, a nice car once in a while, and so I didn't. Downtown Los Angeles isn't exactly where I'd like to. I could be of service someplace else, see, but that wasn't really. If you understand what I mean.
To those that don't know, it started out in physical form 6 years ago with 111 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
6 years ago, yeah, 111 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and like I say. The miracle is yesterday. Everybody goes down and serves food. Everybody goes down and especially at this time of year, Christmas time. The miracle is that yesterday, that all of a sudden 400 more meals were sent down after 6 years. And that's a miracle. Where'd that come from? I can't. I was orchestrated for three things. Ray, to serve food to a few people, to serve food to people in a specific area known as Skid Row. I was to receive nothing for what I was to do, and I was to solicit no money. Now, how would you like to start the the radio show here, KLOS, saying on those three principles, we got to have money to pay the people, to pay the we got to get the commercials, we got to get 375,000 meals were served on that principle. I believe I'm a principle kind of guy. I believe in four principles: the principle of purity, honesty, unselfishness, and love. I believe in those principles, and that's what makes this whole thing work. I believe in looking at my fellow man in the eye with the purity of thought, and I have no fears, and all these mundane things that I used to be full of, I have no more of, and so I feel good about these things.
You look good too.
I'm getting younger, folks. Whoa!
One thing I want to ask you about, and then we'll talk more about Frontline and the whole involvement. I do a public affairs show where I take calls from people all over California and Arizona in part, and all over. And one of the areas that more people are getting, shall we say, spending time focusing on is crime and violence and this fear. And I would be willing to guess, if you were in the position of doing a radio program that we were able to hear you all across the United States right now,
mm-hmm.
as opposed to just here in California, you would get a certain response from people saying, that's really nice, Ray. Wow, that's really nice, but this is not the real world. This type of giving for the purity of giving. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and it's a tough world, and it's fine for you, but that's not the real world. That's not the way it really works. What might you say to that? Because that seems to be the mentality that rules this country right now.
Mm-hmm. That's a very it could be one-sided in one area, another side in another area, a split area. It could be a lot of things, but let me just say this. I believe with my heart and my soul and everything in me that the word love is the thing, the entity that is lacking in our society today, unequivocally. And this doesn't mean the people that are stabbing people or the people that are shooting people. This means they're everyday normal people in a car yelling at somebody to make the left turn on the arrow with hate and venomous things inside their souls. This is not the person waiting in the market line saying, "Gee, why they got this? I want to get ahead of this person," and the person, "No, I got to go now. I got to get out of here." That's where the discomfort of life really is rubbed. Our society as a whole is in trouble. Nobody stands up and says things like that. I'm one human being. When they talk about crime, when they talk about killing, I know about that kind of stuff. I mean, it's tragic, but 6 years ago, Frank, when I started this thing, there were 10-year-old kids, 6 years ago. Now they're 16, and they're out shooting people now, and everybody's worrying about the kids. Well, what about the adults that are getting shot by the kids? Now, 6 years from now, those kids will be 22, and we'll have another bunch of kids coming up. So where are we winning the game? Where's the game being played? Everybody's worrying about the kids. This is not the time to worry about these. It's a time to plant seeds of love and compassion and understanding. That's what we're talking about, and not alienation. And until our society begins to surplant into the minds of our old people, young people, all people, they begin to say, be more compassionate, be more understanding, be more tolerant, be more loving, be more caring. This society is doomed. I have said it unequivocally. I'm not afraid to say that. That's reality. For the people that think we're in an unreality, that's reality. And I believe that, because there's no place on earth anybody can go now where there's a safe haven for anything. There is murder and rape all over the place. And the society is crowded with all these kind of crimes of, I don't know what you don't want to even, I don't even know a name for them. And all as it is the individual, whoever is perpetrating life itself, all people want to do is just care for me, just say hello to me in a nice way, and not try to change me, put me down, put me up. But everybody is greed is surfaced. I want.
For me.
Right, right. I mean, this is what's in it for me. How can I do that? Well, I mean, I'm irrelevant. I'm not important. But I'll tell you something. If what I say here is a lie, then we're all liars, because it's not. And there are people that are saying the truth. I don't believe in segregation. I don't believe in children. I've said this before to you. I don't believe in black. I don't believe in white. I don't believe in China. I don't believe in color of skin, the red, the Indian. I don't believe in woman. I don't believe in man. I don't believe in any of these things. I believe in we're all kids of God, or however one wants to put it. And until we can wipe away the discrimination of mankind, we have I have said many times, we have segregated the segregated. And until we begin to surplant the segregation with love, that's where the lines are. We're always going to make lines. The blacks, the whites, who cares? And I know what I'm talking about, because I'm with the people. And I'll go against anybody in the world on this philosophy, because this is it's a truism.
So you're convinced that if more people practice this, are you saying that the world would change?
In an instant. It would change just by the thought of helping somebody else today. One little thought like that. The whole world would change in an instant. But it won't be. Instead, it's have we gotten any better? No. The answer to that question is no. But people are saying, well, don't be pessimistic. I'm not pessimistic. They want to hear the truth. Let me tell you the truth. I mean, it's a dangerous world. You got gates. You got barred gates. You got. I mean, it's tragic what's happened to our society. And everybody's afraid. Everybody's running scared. And we're having kids to bring up more kids to be more frightened of our society. And everybody's, well, I'll send my kid to the right school, doing the right thing, and they'll turn out to be better dope addicts than the next person. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, it makes me cry inside. We'll develop more children to make this a better place to live in. Wow. We're really doing it, folks. We're really doing it. And that's what's so tragic. And when's the realization come in and say, man, we got to change first, and then let's bring the clean water in. But it hasn't happened now. It's getting worse. I mean, we'll have murder on TV. We'll have murder on the media who infiltrates subliminally, or however they want to do it, and change the mind of the kids, of the teenagers, of the older people, I mean, it's all there. It's all there. That this ball of twine that has no end and no beginning. I mean, and people say, well, there's got to be hope. No, if you stand up and say there is no hope, the change might take place. But you cannot tell me that this is better. Nobody can. Not when you have drive-by shootings and killings and murder on the streets. I mean, there's no answer anymore unless we go back to a basic thing of I care for you, you care for me. There's no other answer. There's no other answer.
What about this idea of progress, or we're becoming better, or this idea of technology and onward and upward, and you know what I'm saying?
Technology. Wow.
You once said that we're there. We're not. This mindset of we keep going and going and going, that we're already there. If we start realizing we're already there.
Right. What I mean, when you say, when you talk about the technology can't promote love. But if when you see that the space shuttle blow 6 people up in the air, wow, that's awesome. What was the cause of that? What was the true cause of that? Was it negligence? Was it because somebody wanted to make more money and because they didn't want to say that, take the time out to save these poor people's lives? Remember that when it blew up?
Sure.
Where are these things? I mean, where is the truth of all these things? So we come through with technology. We're making test tube babies. We're crossbreeding. The mother is carrying the father's uncle's cousin's son in her stomach, and this is what's going on. I mean, wow. To what? To propagate the humanity? I mean, that's science. That's progression of science. Is this what we're coming to? Is this it? I don't know. See, all I'm saying is this is wrong, because that's not saving That's not saving the man that got shot the other day by 4 robbers, 4 thieves. He got shot in West Los Angeles last guy Moon 2 or 3 days ago. I mean, we have our television murder, the boys on the killer pack. I mean, this is what we're seeing, and there's a lawyer trying to get these people off, and then there's another lawyer trying to convict these people, and we're sitting in the middle of this whole thing saying, "Oh, well, I wonder who's going to win here." And we go with popular demand, whatever popular at the moment, we'll go for, instead of saying, "Well, that's technology. That's the technology of the television, promoting this kind of." Drama, so to speak. I mean, wow, we see people getting shot and murdered, and we say, it didn't happen. It was only a figment of our imagination. Oh, okay. I mean, the manipulation of of this trial against that trial, the black and the white, I mean, it gets all mixed up. Nobody wants the truth.
Why not? Why not?
Because if they see the truth, they're going to have to do something about it, and they're not going to do anything about it. What are they going to do about it? Who's going to do it? They're going to keep on going until I die, until somebody else dies, and then they're going to be in the history books. But the world as it moves, nature will begin to take its toll, because nature will then say, "Well, I have a hole in the ozone, and the fishes are dying, and the animals are dying, and we're going to have these little zoos," which is kind of silly when you think about it. We're going to have a zoo that's going to save the endangered species of our society that we saved 42 elephants now. We got them locked up. We saved 42 lions, and we got 10 monkeys. And, well, I'm for saving about 100 families and locking them up, too. And locking them up and saying, this is what the humans were like, along with the elephants, putting them in a little compound, so to speak. See, oh boy,
we're smart, aren't we?
Yeah, we're smart, all right. We're so smart, we're dying, and that's how smart we are. And that. There's nobody can deny what I'm saying. I mean, if they do, then they're not really. Then they're in another world.
Yeah, but Ray, we're supposedly the most evolved species. We claim like this is our dominion. I mean, we are it. We are happening. This is our ball game.
We just struck out. I mean, this is the way it really is. I mean, just walk down your street. Everybody is listening to this show. Just get out of wherever you're at and walk down the street right now without any fear. You can't do it. Be afraid somebody will come by and shoot you. They're going to get you. I mean, that's true. And everybody's afraid for the kids. I got to send my kids to this school so they'll get smart. We're all going to get so smart that we're going to outsmart ourselves. Very good. I like that. That's good. But I mean, you have to remember one thing. I'm only sticking up. I'm only believing. I'm only advocating. I'm only supporting 4 principles. principle of love, understanding, unselfishness, and purity, and that's it. And I'm not saying that. Well, I am saying I do pretty good in those 4 principles. Somebody's got to stand up and pound the chest and say, "Yeah, I stick up for these things, and this is the way I talk. This is the way I walk, and I'm not afraid to say it. Anybody want to follow me? They can." And I'm saying it. It took me a long time to be. Most people say, "See, when you say something like, say, well, I can do something good, or I believe in equality, or I believe in honesty," then I'd better be honest. But when a person says those things, most individuals are afraid to say things like that because then they have to be held responsible for those principles. So therefore, they'll say, "Well, I'm not quite there yet, and I'm learning that now, and I'm hope to achieve that at some time."
And there are also those that espouse those principles and
do talk.
Just quite the opposite.
Right, exactly. Boy, stay away from those people. They're easy to find out, though.
They are.
Yeah, I have no problem seeing through that baloney. Baloney. But I mean, these are. I mean, I would love to. These are issues that should be talked about. These are issues that should be brought out to the foreground. I mean, and they're not. They're held back. They're always held back. And they're all put out wrong, erroneous things to make the public hear things that aren't really being said or done. I mean, it's just manipulated beyond comprehension. And the little camera will get a hold of something, and then the announcer will say, yeah, and look at this, and they'll always go back to that same thing. I mean, look at I'm not supporting or not supporting Michael Jackson, but that thing about him grabbing his crotch, that's all I ever saw on the television the last 6 weeks. The poor man. I mean, why that one particular shot? I think he sung other songs. Maybe I'm wrong. But no, they wanted you to believe what this man was doing. So they kept on doing it, until that's all you saw. That's what you saw on the Rodney King beating. That's what you saw on the Reginald Denny. Just keep on seeing the same thing until finally that's all you see. That's all you see. That's all you see is King getting beat. That's all you see. That's all you see. And whatever it is, if you see the murder if you see somebody getting shot, they'll just keep showing whatever side they pick. They'll keep showing you that side, and that's the way it is. And I'm not supporting any of this. I'm not, like I said, I'm real neutral on this. But when you get into the areas of purity, let's see purity here before you see a gray area, and that's all I'm advocating. Dishonesty, come on.
Now, let me interrupt you if I can. When you started the whole idea of Frontline 6 years ago, you went down to an area that anybody in Los Angeles has some concept of Skid Row. It's not like someplace you're going to go down at 2 o'clock in the morning and hang out on the corner and kick back. It's not a safe place, if you will.
Right.
So, if I was a listener and I was listening close to your words, not what I think you're saying, but what I understand that you're saying, how could someone 6 years later talk about these principles and still be able to go down to such a place where I would think that would be where this can actually be tried? When you started, I'm sure you weren't openly accepted with open arms. Oh, here comes Ray. He's going to feed us. Let's love him.
No. No, you're absolutely right. I was not greeted with open arms. I had no fear attached to what I was doing. I knew that I was supposed to do what I was to do. I didn't think I would do it for 6 years in a row, certainly by any stretch of the imagination. But my purity rung through. The honesty that I had rung through. I cannot deceive thousands and thousands of people on these streets, not on these streets, not on Skid Row. I can do it uptown, but I can't do it downtown. Not on Skid Row. These people know they've been conned by the experts. They've been lied to and cheated on, and so they're well in tune with who's real and who's not real.
The reason why I bring that up is I want to set the context for if one person out there thinks that you're just jiving or blowing hot air around, that if indeed this isn't truly a part of the solution for the world, to have them think about what you've done. Because our world is kind of the analogy for Skid Row. It's getting crazier,
right.
More violence, more crime.
I challenge any human being listening to come with me or go by yourself. Go down to 5th and Crocker, 5th and Town, and see how far you get. And then come with me, or come with me first, and see the transformation, what purity and honesty and understanding and love, understanding and unselfishness would do. Because that's the only principles I got going on those streets. And see, first-handed, what those principles, how they change the human being on Skid Row for a brief moment as we walk through the streets of Skid Row.
Who are the people of Skid Row, and what is the goal or goals of Frontline? How can my listeners help?
You know, I would love your listeners to get me tuna fish, as much tuna fish as one can get, because I'm serving food to the tune of tuna fish sandwiches now down on Skid Row, and I would love everybody, it costs 55 cents for a small little can of tuna fish. I would love as much tuna fish as I could possibly get. The power of the people is what's made this turnaround for Frontline. And Frontline, like I said, only stands for giving for the purity of giving. When you go to the supermarket and pick that can of tuna fish off the shelf, you'll be happy because I'll be happy. And then I'll be happy when I pass that into a sandwich and bring it down to Skid Row to serve humanity. And they'll be happy. And the whole, it consummates the circle of love. There was a group of kids yesterday that came to the front line. There must have been about 100 of them there, and I was talking to them. I said I wanted tuna fish, and I could sense the power of this group, these kids that were looking, and I was reading this specific item letter, and there they were listening. I said, I need you, the people, the kids, and it was the specific item I need. We can wipe out this hunger and on Skid Row, and they got all excited. They got me all excited, and Frontline. We stand on the verge. I could probably serve 10,000 human beings a month on $1,500. Staggering amount of people for a little bit of money. That is unheard of. Why doesn't somebody come up and say, how do you do it? Because the little help that we've gotten now, we're on our feet, is from the people, from the little people. So the listeners of KLOS, the people that have helped me in KLOS, and there's been plenty of them, Frank. You've been so instrumental. You are an instrument by seeing me down on Skid Row 5 years ago, and the instrument to help other people. That's all we are. Instrument. We have enough instruments, we can make the change if enough people care.
And enough people take action.
It's got to be coupled with action. I mean, the last time I was on a show, I hear a lot of people, and a lot of people too, oh, Ray, well, you can't close, but you know, and I'll help you raise money, and I'll help you to... It didn't happen. It did not. Everybody's got great ideas, but it didn't happen. The ideas were wonderful, but it didn't happen. And it's okay because God show, and I'm either going to be or not be, and people I am not the only one that's ever going to serve food. I believe this firmly within my heart. I want everybody to understand this next statement because this I believe. If I fold up tomorrow, if I fold up and I'm Frontline Fools goes under, that's no big deal. Because there'll be somebody else to pick up the standard somewhere else. They'll go down and start feeding people, hungry people, and start helping out. And that's all I do. I'm no big deal. You know, there's people that help the crippled children. There's people that help the AIDS victim. There's people that help the cerebral palsy's victim. There's Jerry Lewis and his entourage. There's all these entourages. Well, I'm just an entourage of people that help people on Skid Row. See, but and when I do what I do, people frown upon it because they say, well, they can get a job. Well, maybe Jerry's kids can get jobs too. You know, I mean, I don't show any segregation against his kids. Don't show any segregation against my people.
Why are there
like that statement?
Why are there more homeless people? What's all that about?
Well, there are more homeless people because we're having more people in the world. We've doubled we have doubled since 1962 to 1992. The global population has doubled from 2.5 billion to 5 point some odd billion, and by the year 2000 we're going to have 8 billion. 8 billion. That's another 6 years from now. This all happened in the last 30 years. So if you're increasing the numbers, you got to increase the bottom of the barrel. You got to increase crime. You've got to increase every single item that you're talking about here. And people think it's because the cities are too small or something. No, it's just we're having a lot of people. So we're going to have a certain amount of people that are going to be that other way.
What's this idea of they're lazy? We hear that.
No, that's not true.
Or there's almost this mentality of they're less than us.
Mm-mm.
You know, we walk into the local 7-Eleven, a guy gets out of a limousine and looks at somebody homeless and just walks right in without even just looking. Not necessarily giving them money or but just even looking, acknowledging their presence as a human being. Does that stand for what our society has come to?
I don't know, Frank. I don't know the answer to that. I just know that, again, it goes back into the area of selfishness and selfishness, that's all, and lack of love. So I am my brother's keeper. I'm not ashamed to say that. I hope somebody passes the message on to people through the ages, but I just don't see it. That's all. I don't, but that doesn't mean it won't happen.
I have a couple more questions, and in case you're just tuning in, this is Impact on KLOS. The voice you're listening to is that of Ray Castellani, who 6 years ago began an organization called the Frontline Foundation, an organization that is nonprofit, an organization that gives directly to the people of Skid Row the food that is solely donated by people like you, the listening audience. Ray doesn't have some big uptime gig where he makes millions of dollars and then on the weekends I'll go down and help those that need some help. This is truly a large part of your life.
Well, no, it's not a large part of my life. It's all my life. There's a difference.
Help-wise, you mentioned tuna.
Tuna fish. I would love tuna fish.
Where's your facility, and how might someone get a hold of you if they're interested in finding more about this?
818 is the area code. 780-1995 is the telephone number. I'm based in the valley on Oxnard and Sepulveda, right off of on Oxnard, 15344 Oxnard, which is 1 block west on Oxnard, and you take a left into the alley after Granger, and there's a big sign and a big line that's the logo of the Frontline Foundation, and You can call up if you can get tuna fish for me. Call up and drop it off. It would be greatly appreciated. That's another thing is if you can get the tuna fish and drop it off, that would help me so much because we don't have drivers going around picking up stuff. So we need all the help. I need volunteers, pure volunteers again, pure volunteers that come in and say, hey, how can I help for an hour? How can I help for 2 hours? And that's all. I don't want any more than that. But I need volunteers. I need volunteers that are stable, that are pure. I call them pure volunteers. I don't want court-appointed people because I want the humanitarian aspect of the individual.
You don't want someone coming in that maybe because they feel a little guilty. I'll give a couple of weeks because it's the time of year.
No, it's not important. No, we don't want. No, you know, unless you really feel strongly about humanity. It'll never work. It'll never work out of guilt. You just have to feel. I have to feel strong about helping humanity. I have to be, in a sense, a young. I mean, kids are great because they always want to help, and it's beautiful to see kids chipping in and helping. In the schools, all over the places, there's so many areas that they can help. Just getting. One can of tuna fish and getting a bunch of kids together and knocking on doors and getting it, and that's going to feed people. And but it's the humanitarians I'm looking for.
Could you do me a favor and talk about hunger a little bit?
Well, the hunger that I serve is. I always want to say that for a brief moment, on Skid Row or wherever hunger does exist, but mainly I'm only working in one area. You got to remember this. Please, listeners, don't think I am the end-all, be-all, but I work specifically in one area. Other people work in other areas, but my area is the Skid Row area. But dignified food to the hungry people that don't get a tuna fish sandwich or ice cream from Ben & Jerry's, and that's what they get from me, or from Humphrey Yogurt, or from the fine bread from the Bees bakery up in Tarzana or Reseda, fine sweets and things like that. This is what I bring to people that are hungry. They see, my God, and popcorn, the AM CT so graciously gives me this popcorn. You say, well, what's popcorn? But they never get it. They never get it. We have now a small little contingency that goes to Hollywood now that feeds kids in Hollywood, which is kind of exciting. And this gal Donna heads up that group, so it's sort of branched out a little bit to a little. I don't want to say. Well, to another area of hungry people. They're not. There's a lot different from Hollywood than it is in downtown Los Angeles, but nonetheless, they're hungry there for a decent little something, and caring and loving and things like that go along with it. But
should anybody in this world be hungry?
I myself, one organization can get enough food probably to feed all of Los Angeles for probably free if the network was right. That's really crazy, but that's true. I mean, I only tap two Ralph's Market with my letter with a specific item, and I have enough food that's how I serve the 375,000 meals is all on donated food. That's the Rose Bowl now, Frank, going on 4 times. New Year's Day is coming up. That's a lot of people. How'd you put them in line for people?
I want to talk more, but let's take a break. In fact, I'll give out the numbers if anybody would like to maybe call you and talk to you this morning. If you have any questions, any comments, anything at all from my in-studio guest, Ray Castellani from the Frontline Foundation, why don't you mosey on over to the phone and give us a call now at any of the following numbers. In the 213-818 or 310 areas, the main lines are 520-KLOS, 520-5567. Also, if you're in the 714 area and I always enjoy listening and hearing from those of you in the 714 area immensely. 977 KLOS is the number there, and also in the toll-free area, 1-800-955-KLOS, 1-800-955-5567. Give us a call. The phone lines are open. You'll talk to our program coordinator, Tammy Richardson. She's in the other room, and she'll take your calls in about 30 seconds or so. And we'll be right back with more of Impact after this.
Hi, gang. Joe Benson with you here. Coming up Monday night at midnight, we have Southern California's longest-running showcase for local talent. We call it the Local Licks program. This week, going to be featuring Harbinger, L.A. Got Art Dog lined up for you Monday night. We have Denise Marsa and the Mother Band, Alice B. Toklas, and the Revolutionary Love Army.
We're back already. That was a long time out. In fact, I have one reminder. Let me grab this. You got volume in that yet? Oh, okay. We'll work on that in a second here. Note from the switchboard, the Anaheim Higher Education Center is offering programs in computer skills, printing, to be a paralegal assistant, and more. Tuition assistance is available. If you'd like more details, you can call our switchboard anytime after 6 a.m. This is Impact on KLOS. My name is Frank Sontag. My in-studio guest is Ray Castellani from the Frontline Foundation. Got a lot of open lines, folks. We'd love to hear from you this morning. If this is something you don't care about, well, don't pick up the phone. If hunger isn't an issue that you're concerned about, if you are very comfortable in the city, that's called the City of the Angels, if this is not a big deal to you, we don't care to hear from you this morning. And in the same respect, if you do care about this, if you're frustrated, if you'd like to do something, anything, just talk about it. I suggest you pick up the phone and give Ray a call and give me a call. We'll even pay for the phone. 1-800-955-KLOS are the numbers. 1-800-955-5567. A couple more questions, then we'll take some calls. Frontline is a non-profit organization. You don't take any money.
No.
And as of right now, no one takes any money.
No, right.
Everything that you are given, financially, food-wise, goes directly to the people.
Right. We have our expenses, but we have several things now that are combating the, like our rent, or Noreen has devised a system, the Frontline 80. Now we have another, we have a China club that we have a tremendous Chinese dinner once a month that now pays for the gasoline and the maintenance of the truck going downtown. This is why I can cut my expenses down to something staggeringly low. And the response has been good. We have, like I said, the China Club is a $20, but it's not a obligatory thing per month. It's just that you're on a list, and there's 40 seats available, and we have 80 people, and so the first 40 we fill up. We pay the Chinese restaurant $400, and we get 400 or $350 or whatever we can sell on the thing, and then that pays for our maintenance of the trucks going downtown. So a few more things like that, and we get their gas and electric paid for, and we'll be down to zero. I mean, if it works, that's all by people, and it's not people that are involved per se in the mechanics of Frontline. It's people that care about helping humanity. So it's not necessarily. We've got to make sandwiches, got to collect food. It's just another way of helping.
And if someone wants to help you, is there room?
I need as much help from any individual as I possibly can, from all individuals. So there's room. There's just room for everybody, and it's work. This way. Like I said, the person wants to be interested in helping humanity. This is basically, I think, an important factor. Not out of guilt, not out of remorse or anything like that. They just want to give and help, and that's all. So.
And ask nothing in return.
Yeah, I've never done anything for a long time because I want to feel better after I do something.
How does it feel after you go down?
I cry. I feel very humbled. It's a very humbling experience for me, and I'm just thankful that I'm used as an instrument to help people. I'm not. I don't have that many years ahead of me, but when I come back from downtown, I sometimes have a lot of tears in my eyes, and it's only because I'm just awed and overwhelmed by the way I have been used for that particular day.
If someone would like to actually go downtown, they can do that too?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
You know, they want to. There's many areas, there are many areas to help. It's the helping that it's all the little people helping that made everything possible. That's the change that can take place. Like I said, I'm passionate about what I say. I'm not afraid to say the things I say because somebody has got to stand up and pound their chest and say, hey, this is what I stand for. I mean, otherwise, if I don't stand for something, I don't stand for anything. I mean, I got to do something. So I'm passionate in when I speak, what I share, I believe what I'm saying.
Let's take some calls. As a matter of fact, just let me throw this out there. We've got lines lit up in all the areas other than the 714 area, and the 714 area is wide open. So, as I said, I'm always fascinated to hear from anyone in the 714 area. 977 KLOS are the numbers there. John, good morning. You're on the air on KLOS.
Hi, good morning, Ray, and good morning, Frank.
Morning, John.
Hi, Ray. My main question is, I'm really happy to talk to you. I've been listening to Frank for some time, and I always hear about you on his show, but I always seem to miss you. Actually, I live right up the street from your place on Oxnard, and I'd like to ask you a main question is that where I work, there's a lot of food that's thrown out at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to the management of the cafeteria and saying, is it possible? I mean, I could do it. Just give the food to me, and I'll bring it to a homeless place. And they always tell me that they can't because they're afraid of lawsuits. Mm-hmm. They're afraid that the people claim that they got sick from the food and try to sue the place that I work for.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way? What are your views on that with your organization?
Well, John, I have my own system that's devised, and we've had problems like this where restaurants, and I understand their point of view, and I respect that point of view. Mm-hmm. So as an offsetting, to offset any kind of problems, the system that is devised for Frontline works through all those problems. I don't try to get that food or use that food because I don't want I don't want the problems.
Right.
And so I just stick with my little system, and that system has served up 375,000 meals. So that's the one I'm sticking with. If I branch out into other areas, I'm going off my base. And I got to sort of stick on my base. It's a legitimate question. It's legitimate food. Everything is legitimate. So I'm not saying it's not. It's just that I'm not equipped to handle it. That's all. I would love to take that food every day by myself,
right,
and go downtown. But, it's impossible to do that kind of, especially now. I mean, you don't know what I've gone through in the past 6 years. But
you mean to get food?
Well, to get food, but also to regulate, to build the trust downtown, to devise a system to serve humanity downtown is a job in itself. You have no idea. It's just not a place you go with a truckload of food and people just say, "Oh, thank you." And
what is it that happens when you go down there with food? I mean, that's kind of a complex question to ask.
Well, it's not a complex question. I just let me put it this way, John. I would, if I were to do that, if I were you and I were to do that, or if I was saying to you what would happen, I would just say that I think that you better be schooled in serving the food to that type or that area.
Okay.
Where the hunger exists.
Okay.
And that's what I would say.
Ray, are you going to be at that address that you gave on Oxnard today?
Today is Monday?
Yeah.
No, it'll be open tomorrow morning because they're going down and serving food tomorrow. They serve every day, 6 days a week.
Okay. I mean, if I have...
You call that number,
Uh-huh.
and then I'll get back to you. Or somebody, or Lisa will get back to you, or Noreen will get back to you, but somebody from Frontline will get back to you. And then whatever capacity you want to help. Like I said, John, I'm looking for people that want to help people.
Do you have the number, John?
Yes, it is 780-1995.
Right, and the 818 area code.
Right.
Thank you for the call and thanks for caring.
Right.
Take good care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's a little after 1. This is KLOS Los Angeles. And Richard, good morning. You're on the air with my in-studio guest, Ray Castellani from the Frontline Foundation. How are you, Richard?
Very good. Thank you very much. I like your program.
Thank you.
And I think Ray is just a wonderful human being. I wanted to ask him if I could be a volunteer. I live in Encino, and I can't stand up too long, and I can't lift heavy things, but I'm good with my hands.
Well,
I can
Richard,
do repetitive activities with my hands.
that would be beautiful, Richard. You can. We have work in the kitchen in the morning, and it could be packing sweets or cutting sweets and things like that. That wouldn't take. You wouldn't have to do any lifting or anything like that. But you certainly could help out in the kitchen. It's any of the 5 days of the week, and even counting on Saturday morning.
What time can I get up there? I have to take a bus.
Well, I think the kitchen opens at 7, and it closes around 10:30. They've made the food for the day, and it's on its way down to Skid Row, and they come back a little bit later than that, but usually all the volunteers are done by 10 o'clock or 10:30, from 7 to 10.
Oh.
So,
I could cut hair, too.
Yeah, I don't think we have any call for that, Richard.
Uh-huh. I'd like to help you out any way I can. I think you're doing a great thing.
Well, it's beautiful. Just your thought. If you, even at home, Richard, if you want to get on the phone and talk to people and tell them to get me a can of tuna fish, and then call up the front line and say, I live in Encino, this is Richard, and I got 20 cans of tuna fish for you, that would be, that's as good as anything else, and we'll try to get somebody up there to pick that tuna fish up for you.
Great.
Not,
also, can I ask a question?
If it's not too heavy.
I'm just wondering, is anybody doing anything about getting shelter of some kind for these homeless?
No, it's not my department, Richard.
Uh-huh.
My job is just to serve food to them.
Oh, great. Well, I'm going to try and help out as much as I can.
You get me tuna fish.
Yeah, I got a couple cans.
Well, get in the telephone tomorrow and get some more.
Okay.
Okay, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Armando, good morning. You're on the air on KLOS. Armando, are you with us? I think it says Armando. We'll put him back on hold. Maybe he's away from the phone a second. How about Kip?
Yes.
How are you, Kip?
Good. How are you this morning?
Well, thanks. Thanks for the call.
I have a question. He keeps alluding to the system, and it had something to do with the grocery stores. I live out here in the Inland Empire. If I wanted to get something like this started out here, what's the system?
It's just one letter that I wrote, and I don't have it with me, but it's a very simple formed letter that, and it's a 95 to 100, 95% response to getting a specific item that you're asking for. Like, we'll stand in front of the supermarket and we'll hand the letter out, and let's say I'm asking for tuna fish as an example. The letter, when the people go in, if I hand out 100 letters, we'll get 95 cans of tuna fish from that letter.
Yeah, that's great.
So it's and also you give it to schools and organizations and offices and companies and all. It gets a tremendous amount of food for me.
Yeah, once again, simplicity works.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, and it's a specific item.
Yeah.
See, that's why I can't go for canned goods. I go for a specific item. I may go peanut butter one company, jelly another company, and tuna fish another company, juice another company, soup another company. But
Yeah,
I just
spread
keep
it out.
Right,
so
right,
people
right,
get
right,
burned out.
right, right. But if I say all those things, I'll get pork and beans and mushrooms and all this other stuff, and it won't work.
Yeah. All right, you're doing a great job, man.
My friend.
All right.
Thank you, Kip.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye-bye. William, good morning. You are on the air on the Impact program.
Good morning, and how are you doing?
We're good, thanks.
I had a question. I didn't catch the address or the phone number that I can contact this gentleman with when I finally get a car.
Okay. The phone number is 818-780-1995, 1995. The address is on Oxnard Street, is 15344 Oxnard, and that's one quarter of a block west of Sepulveda Boulevard on Oxnard, and you go down the alley, and then you'll see the Frontline Foundation sign.
Cool.
And and like I said, you don't have to. You can do it via telephone right now, and
Right on, man. I'll help out. I've been hungry myself before, and
beautiful.
And people have fed me, so I definitely think that it's a useful thing to do.
Beautiful. Well, it I've said this before. When you're hungry, in order to change, you have to live, and in order to live, you got to eat.
Right on.
So before you can make a change or a directional change, I got to keep you alive. So let me keep you alive until you can make that directional change, and somebody else will pick up that slack.
Oh, damn. Yeah, it's nice to hear from you, man. It's nice to hear somebody's out there doing this.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Right.
Thank you, William. 520-KLOS are the main lines. We'll take a couple more calls and wrap it up. It's the holiday season, Ray.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too. What is it about the holidays? It's almost fashionable to care. Okay, let's care for a few weeks in December, and then second week in January, where
it'll be cold. It'll be all over with. Yeah, it will be. And that's the sad part about it. I mean, it's that's the way it goes. So there's nothing, and it's okay. You know, it's okay because I keep going after January or after Christmas, and I don't go down on Christmas because they don't need me at Christmas. But they'll need me January 2nd, and for the rest of the year until the Thanksgiving comes around again. And so that's the way it is.
it's quite a circus around Thanksgiving time, isn't it?
Very much so. Everybody's out there. They're asking for money to feed people. The missions are, and during the year they don't want that. See, they're looking for change of souls, but that's okay too. You know, it's not. I'm here to announce what I do, not denounce anything else. But again, I like the truth, and so that's all I'll go.
You still do something else aside from Frontline, feeding food in a slightly different way, don't you?
You mean selling hot dogs?
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Oh, Frank, I'm going to talk about it, but this is the first you know what happened. I think it was tragic. The answer that I have, the answer that Frontline stands for across the country, to be able to serve these depressed areas, and I, in order to make $1 to survive, was selling hot dogs on a street corner of Laurel and Ventura. And I did this for 16 months because I had my wife and I, we had to survive. And but the last 3 months, 2 or 3 months or 4 months, it got harder and harder for me to push that cart up this hill. And last Friday, I terminated my my hot dog endeavor, and so I know this is the first you heard about it, but I'm not on the corner anymore, and it's okay. I just don't have the strength anymore, and So the next time we meet, which I hope will be soon, on the radio here, we can tell everybody what happened. But right now, whatever is going to be is going to be, and that's it. So that's the other part. But I think with the answer that has been shown to me, for me to be selling hot dogs in a street corner to survive, I don't think it's right. I think that's a disgrace. It's okay, I did it. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I might be doing something else, but it's okay. So the hot dog cart is gone. I don't recommend this life for anybody. I mean, it's not exactly glamorous. But like I said, I would trade every agonizing hardship that I've had for the 375,000 meals that have been served to humanity. So I really don't count. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, there's no. What are you going to trade, Ray, for 375,000? I'm not going to do it.
We'll take a few more. Let me go back and see if Armando's there. Armando, are you with us? I think he's there, but he's not near the radio. We're going to have to let him go. Let's talk to John. John, good morning. You're on the air on KLOS.
Hi, how are you doing?
We're well, John. Thanks.
Hi. How's it going?
Good.
All right.
You're on the air.
Okay. I have a couple of questions for Ray.
You got it. Go.
How do you feel about people that put down the hungry and the homeless?
John, it doesn't register into my head. It just doesn't register. I am only to do one thing, and I'm doing it, and that's it. What other people think, what other people believe, I am a firm believer, and that's what they believe, and that's what they think, and they're entitled.
Okay.
I mean, I can fight the battles, but I have enough passion to announce what I stand for, rather than putting down or denouncing what other people stand for. John, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because I've heard other radio stations and the, different disc jockeys and stuff like that put down the hungry and the homeless, and I've been close to it myself. But
well, they put a guy on the cross that was talking some good stuff.
Yeah.
So remember that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
The guy kept walking around talking about love, and they put him on a cross. So, they just put him down until finally they just put him on a cross, and that was it. So I don't mind being put down for what I do. It's not a big deal. It's no big deal to me.
No, it's no put down at all.
Yeah.
I think what you're doing is very admirable.
Well, thank you, John.
But
what else, John? Anything else?
Well, I'd like to, help out a little bit, You
do with your thought.
Pardon me?
You do with your thought. It's amazing. People think a lot has to do like that. Well, your thought. You may talk to somebody tomorrow and say, "Hey, I heard this guy Ray," and blah 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 blah. And before you know it, that guy says, "Well, geez, I want to help him out." And then,
yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you can spread the word, whatever it is, whatever you feel, however you feel in your heart. I want to help this guy. I have a mailing P.O. Box 570-303, Tarzana 91357. Drop me a note and tell me, "Hey, Ray, I love you," and I'll feel good. I get the mail. I feel good when I get it.
Do you like? You've been talking about cans of tuna.
Yeah.
Is it better like cans of tuna, or do you want a contribution towards bread and mayonnaise?
Like chunk tuna.
chunk tuna?
Yeah, light chunk. Any kind. It doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
Yeah, I stick to that, and that's
Okay.
That's
Because I drive cross country. I'm a
Uh-huh.
truck driver,
oh wow.
and a lot of different states and cities that I go into, the people come up to me and they, like, hey, can you help me out?
Yeah.
And it's hard to say no, but it's hard to decipher if they want the money for alcohol or if they want the money for food or to, room and shelter and stuff like that.
Well, if you have anything to give, John, don't worry about what they do with it, because if you decipher what they're going to use it for, then there's a little hook on it or a little string on it. If you got a quarter or a nickel or a dime or a dollar, whatever it is, you just give it, and whatever they do with it, that's their business. If you don't want to give it, that's fine too. Don't ever feel obligated that you got. I pass a lot of people up. Gee whiz, I pass a lot of people up.
Yeah.
They come by the hot dog car and say, hey, no, 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 no. I say, well, yeah, it's supposed to be feeding people. No, I don't have to feed people. I got to feed myself right. Do you understand what I'm saying? In other words, not everybody that wants something really needs it. So if I feel so inclined to give something to somebody, I just give it. But a lot of times people ask and I don't. And I don't know why I say no, but I say no.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. He mentioned an address of Laurel on Ventura Boulevard.
No,
And-
I'm not there anymore.
No?
No.
Oh, that's where you had your hot dog.
Right.
Okay. So where can I send you something?
P.O. Box 570-303, Tarzana, 91357, John.
91357?
Yeah, and at the very least, you can always call Frontline at 818-780-1995 and get more information. Thanks for caring, John. We're going to take a couple more and finish up, and we're going to go down to the 714 area finally. Alice, good morning. You're on the air on KLOS.
Well, hi there. My name is Alice. I'm calling from behind the orange curtain.
Hi, Alice. Nice to hear from you.
Nice to be heard from. Hey, Ray, I just want to say that, you're a godsend, man.
Thanks,
down in this area where I live down in San Clemente, just lately I've noticed a lot more homeless people. It never used to be such a big deal, but there's a lot more now, and they are hungry, and I do what I can. I liked what you said. The last guy you're worried about drugs or alcohol, either give it or don't. That's a God thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why you say yes or no, but I just wanted to let you know that, I'm going to try to get some tuna for you, too.
I love you.
Drive it up there in my little 78 Datsun. We'll make it.
Beautiful.
But, it's just this time of year. I don't know, Christmas time's always been a real hard time for me, and I try to, get out of myself. But, I don't know, that's such a great thing that you do, and it gives me inspiration. It, puts back my faith in mankind and, and what this whole thing's about, the whole man on the cross type.
Right.
And, I just wanted to say thanks a lot, man.
Well,
I
I thank you, and always remember that people like you are inspirations for people like me. So remember that.
Well, hang in there.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Alice. And Greg, good morning. You're on the air on KLOS.
Hi, well, I was actually calling in to order a hot dog, but I guess that's it.
I'm out of business.
Well, I don't know. I guess maybe San Clemente is the only city in Orange County that's listening. That's where I'm at also. But I just moved down here in May. I used to live right around the corner from where you guys are at.
Oh.
Where Willis Street is?
Willis.
Well, where Van Nuys and
yeah.
and Roscoe is.
Yeah.
Up in that area.
Oh yeah, that's close.
Well, I just felt moved to make a suggestion. I've been in dire straits a lot of times myself financially, and I got to stretch my food dollars out as far as they can go. And I guess I'm like you. I'm not really motivated to earn a lot of money for myself. I'm doing things for other people, and sometimes it puts me in some tough times. But I just had to make the suggestion to you. I find out that eating mackerel tastes almost the same as eating tuna.
Yeah.
And you can get a can of mackerel like right up there at Grocery Warehouse for like 65, 70 cents a can, and it's a big size can like you get salmon in. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've used that mackerel, by the way.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to suggest that because you can get so much fish, and do about the same thing with it.
Yeah.
It's so much cheaper if people
Yeah.
want to help out that way.
We have had the mackerel there sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear what you're doing. I'm looking around down here to see what I can do in Orange County to help down. I'm all the way down at the bottom in San Clemente. It's a little bit different down here. It's a little bit more middle class, but there's still a lot of need down here too. I wish I'd known that you were there when I was still up there, but I moved down here in May.
Well, that's where you're supposed to be, I guess. And the thing is that I'm a great believer in that wherever you are, wherever the instrument is, you'll do your work.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. But the frustration is, I think there are a lot of people, especially, like I said, I'm from the area where your ministry is based. There are so many people that I think are even abusing the fact that there are people that do have a good heart and want to help people out. And, I mean, there are some lazy people.
Tremendously so.
And a friend of mine related to me a story about these people that stand on the side of the freeway with signs saying, "We'll work for food."
Correct.
And his father had been arguing that these people were legit, and he went to pick one up to do a job. And this guy was griping the whole time, saying, I make more money standing there. I average about $8 an hour.
That's right. That's the business of the 90s.
And so this ruins the people that do have a charitable heart to really want to contribute to the people that really need it.
Right, but you see, that's a different area than I'm dealing with.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, okay.
I just wanted to point a little bit of that out. I mean, you're right down there, where the people are just scraping for their absolute daily survival.
Right.
I mean, it's a little bit different than watching a guy standing there in 501 jeans on the side of the freeway.
Right,
with
exactly.
his sign earning $8 an hour.
Exactly, with his little sign. Right. You're
but
right.
I mean, I know it burned me out, and I'm, I've got a charitable heart. There's things that I want to do, but the Scripture says, in the end times, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many will wax cold. And there it is. So we just need to grasp onto the source of love to be able to let that drive us.
Do you want me to I just tell you one little by note to what you were saying yesterday? The Chamber of not the Chamber of Commerce. The Rotary Club of the Mid Valley in the San Fernando Valley went out and invested. I mean, this is beautiful. And went to in front of the banks and passed out $1 and gave $1 to every individual. Instead of asking for $1, they gave $1 with the Frontline logo on it. And the Rotary Club, they did it Saturday. So instead of standing on the corner as the cars would pass by, they gave the $1 to the people. And they said, well, we'll see what happens. So it was kind of an interesting thing. We will know next week how it worked out. So
I'm confused.
I know. Well, that's going to confuse people. In other words, most people stand on the freeway asking for the $1. The Rotary Club decided to stand on the freeway and give the $1. They gave $1. They had about $300, and they gave $1 away in an envelope of the Frontline Foundation with the Frontline logo and the Frontline, the brochure, the Frontline, and gave the $1 away as a promotional thing. So how many people are going to respond to that, we don't know. But it was a giving of $1 instead of taking of $1.
Did you see a traffic jam form on that exit ramp?
We don't know. I wasn't there, but it was done yesterday, Saturday.
Gotcha.
So anyway.
Thank you so much for the call.
Keep it up, and God bless.
Thank you.
Do you mind if we take 2 more calls?
Go.
Take
as many as you want.
A couple more calls here. Tam just brought in I want to get to here. Jean, good morning. You're on the air on KLOS.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Jean.
Good morning, Ray.
Hi, Jean.
First, I have a little story that I want to tell about how the news media almost kept me from helping a homeless young lady and her little girl. I was walking to the market through the park, and I seen this young lady with a basket and her baby, and I talked to her. I brought her something to eat and blankets and tennis shoes for the baby, and I thought when I was on my way back, I thought about inviting her to the house because I only live like 3 blocks down, and I didn't. When I got home, I was listening to the news, and I heard when the news, a lady was on that said she had let a homeless couple live with her. She woke up, and they had stolen everything out of her home, And it just goes to show you right then and there, my mind switched completely from thinking about inviting this young lady and her baby by listening to the news, but something in my heart told me this girl needs my help, and that no harm won't come to me or my family if I give her help. So I went to the park and I got her and her baby, and I brought them here. And they stayed. I'm African American, and she was white. She stayed in my house. I kept her baby during the day while she went to cosmetology school. She got her license. Now she have her baby. She have her own home, and she never did have to go to welfare. And she still come visit me as of today. Now, for the bad story, my son is in college, and one day at the university, they had a little project that a girl and a guy go out being entrepreneurs for the day and see how much money they can raise, just thinking of doing something, their own little business. Well, the couple that made the most money was $150, and it was a couple, they were married with a home and everything, but they were both in college. Now, since that's been over with about 2 months ago, this couple is still on these corners and in front of these stores with the same clothes that they used to do the project in. Now, they go there every day, both of them, the husband and the wife, and they bank like $100, maybe $50, $100, $150 a day. And what I want to say is that, is it anything that could be done to turn these people in? Or no, law enforcement probably can't do anything, but they're wrong for doing this because it makes the good have to suffer for the bad. People do need, but these people have a home.
Yeah.
And they, like you said, they're using this as a business.
Right.
And I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
They go home from their jobs, they put on these clothes that make them look homeless,
Right.
and they go out around these markets and churches and, and hang out 3 or 4 hours at a time, splitting up and meeting up together and making $150, $200 plus the money they get from work. That's not right.
No, I agree with you. But you know something. One of the things that come to my mind is that no matter what area one gets into, there's always some con artist, some scam going on. Whether it be with the homeless, whether it be with the insurance brokers, whether it be with the junk bonds, whether it be with the savings and loans, whether it be with the there's always something that is think how many people scam the government. Think how many people cheat on the income tax. Do you see what I mean? It's just endless, and so this is another part of the scam that goes on in our society, and it's tragic. But you were certainly aware of the driven by your heart, and I think that's in the long run the bottom line is your heart, and whatever your intuitive feelings are about any given situation, that's what God's given you, and that's what you got to use.
Thank you for the call this morning, Gene. We're going to take our final call, and it's Nancy. Good morning. You're on the air on KLOS.
Hi, Frank. Hi, Ray.
Hi, Nancy.
I just wanted to let you know also from Orange County that you sincerely moved me after being a homeless mom with 4 kids since August 8th. Sorry, I got a little teary. Thank you, Gene, for being such a wonderful person. And losing my kids because I had no shelter, going through the welfare, and it's a long story, but bottom line being that it's people like you and other people, listeners, and also people that share their stories like Gene and the other gentleman and the lady before him, that inspire us out here to keep on going, and knowing that what you do in your heart and you know is right, to just keep doing it. And just became unhomeless 1 week ago out of just complete right out of the air. Never could have imagined. And very, very small apartment, but at least it's out of the cold, too. And now it's a long road to get my kids back. But there's good and bad and everything. And the more good you put out, I know, the more good you do get back. And definitely not monetarily speaking. And Ray, definitely this year I will do something to help your causes. I know how I live in Orange County, and I know how difficult. It's a totally different story, but it's still. I really look up to you.
Well, thank you. I always remember one thing, that you're as a powerful of an instrument as anybody in the world is. You, and certainly it is for me to look up to you, not for you to look up to me. We look side by side, and always remember that the strength that you give me or the strength that I give you, it's we're even, and I'm being used in my way, and you're being used in your way. So always remember that. Always.
Definitely. Kind of a flood here. There's no doubt in my mind that the love between both of you and Tammy and the listeners that are out there and on the face of the earth, thank goodness. It's nice to know that even just one person can make a huge difference, and all of you are that person. And I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You take good care. Again, if you would like to contact Ray and get more involved with helping out Frontline, even if it means just driving up and giving him one can of tuna, as we've talked about throughout the program, one person is basically so powerful a vehicle, we don't give ourselves near the credit. And we focus so much on outside elements. And maybe it's time to look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm okay. I've got a lot to give. And spend a little less time thinking about it and a little more time doing something about it, then maybe the world might be a little bit better place to be. The number again to Frontline Foundation is in the 818 area code. It's 780-1995. 780-1995 in the 818 area code. Here we are again.
That's right, Frank. It's very touching, a lot of touching moments on the program here tonight. And it's weird. As I'm sitting here with you, I have that same feeling I get when I come downtown. I sort of want to cry, but I certainly want to thank you, Frank, for your support that you've given me now through the years, and you truly have been an instrument in helping humanity, and certainly an unsung hero, as many of us are, but certainly you are an unsung hero, and I get a lot of the glamour and the glit and all that stuff, but it is to people like you and the volunteers like Ed and the rest of all these that have made it possible, the listeners, the callers, the Nancys, the Alices, the Johns, that have put the input in, a vote for humanity, so to speak. And I, again, am humbled, which is okay. But on behalf of thousands, and I mean thousands of my brothers and my sisters on Skid Row, I on behalf of all of them, I thank you, Frank. I thank KLOS. I thank every listener out there, and I thank every volunteer, and I thank my wife, and I wish you all a very happy, beautiful New Year coming up. And if I have a vision, I would love to say I would love to feed and serve 10,000 human beings a month on $1,500. I just think that would be really trippy. But it is to you and to all your listeners, to all the people, and to all the volunteers, to all the people downtown that I take my hat off to. I really am humbled here tonight.
Well, you know, I love you a lot.
I love you too, Frank.
And thanks for being here. And I don't know what I queued up. I queued a number up. So we'll see what it is. And until next time we meet, you know, last time I saw you, we didn't know if there was going to be a front line.
Correct.
And now this time I see you,
we're live, strong, and kicking.
That's right. Raising a little hell, too.
Right. Right on. I'll do that.